What's up, bros? I just kind of wanted to bring you guys in on just some me time that I'm having. Just I take this time to organize my thoughts and to really, just understand where I'm at on certain things and how I think about certain things. To take energy off of one thing and place it onto another. And so I think the topic that I'm thinking about today is going to have great value. And so that's why I want to share that with you all today. So one of the things, and again, this is going to be more of a raw, fireside type of chat. I haven't really thought about these things enough, but you're going to see me work through that process right now. And I'm hoping that I spark conversations for you to have with yourself so you understand exactly where you stand on the topics at hand. So one of the things that you can evidently see on my channel is that I talk about, or, I highlight a lot of the delusion, the dysfunction when it comes to women. This isn't anything new. I don't have to explain to you guys how a lot of these girls' standards are off the charts relative to the value that they bring. I think you guys can already see that. And it's very important that you do highlight these things because a lot of guys, especially guys who lack experience, will think that a lot of this is normal and it's not. And so it's very important that you recognize that you see this early on and you have people talk about it. So that way, when you see it, you recognize that this isn't normal. Anybody with self-respect isn't going to tolerate this type of behavior. And I know that there's something better out there. And so, even though it's kind of slim pickings as far as maybe where you are right now, you guys know I'm a very huge advocate of traveling. And just for me personally, that's worked out very well. I've been meeting the type of women that I would love to have long term relationships with traveling. Most guys ask me, like, where do I suggest that they travel? Well, that depends on your taste and what you're looking for. For me personally, I believe in traditional family values. I believe that a man is the head of his household and his woman is a great support. I believe that there's a hierarchy when it comes to God, man, women, children, things of that nature. And so, whenever you have these type of thoughts, if you think the same as me, you might want to lean into more conservative countries. And of course, you always want to do your own research because there are a lot of countries out there that on the surface, they're conservative or extremely conservative. But when you dive down into the social culture or the dark side is what I like to call it, you just kind of see like it's just like um a front. It's kind of like a chameleon act where on the outside it looks conservative and family oriented, but once you get behind the curtains, you realize that, oh, okay, yeah, this isn't exactly what I'm looking for. And so you just do your own research. So the whole reason why I'm bringing this up is because yes, we recognize the delusion and the dysfunction that a lot of women are eating up right now. But what we don't really do is we don't really highlight women who are the complete opposite of that. Most girls that you see, and this is just my personal experience, this is no shot at any other creator, but most girls that I see that are like that are on the internet, it's usually a grift. And I see nothing wrong with it. If a woman can use her abilities to fool a bunch of guys and get money, that's her thing, right? I don't knock anybody's hustle. But the whole reason why I'm having this talk with you today is because I want to ask you a question, right? It's like, what if you meet a woman and this woman was exactly what you're looking for? And and again, she's off social media. You go to her social media, she's following like six people, you know, or I'm sorry, she has like six followers and she's following like, like the corny accounts that have, you guys know what I'm talking about. There's nothing malicious in the content. They're like, cookbook stuff or like funny cat videos, those types of like very innocent type of things. Like, what if you meet a person that's like that, right? That's her social media. She's not on it like that. Her pictures are very modest. They're of nature, flowers, sunsets, food she's cooked. You know what I mean? It's like that type of deal. You're vetting her out. You're trying to see, she comes from a two-parent background. She doesn't go out much because her family's large enough to where, they just kind of they do the basic family stuff that, mainstream would call like corny or something. They have like game night, board games and stuff like that. They play cards with each other. she's one of those type of girls. It's like, what if you found a type of girl like that? And again, when I say type of girl, her body count extremely low. I'm talking like anywhere from 0 to 3. You could pick whatever is best for you. And you meet this girl, and you kind of talk to her, and you just kind of realize that she's like everything that you thought a woman should be. She is this girl. And it's finally time. Oh, hold on. My neighbor, I don't know if you guys can hear that. My neighbor loves doing that with his, I don't know, I think it's a Mustang. It sounds cool, and I'm sure if I had it, I'd do the same thing, but boy, it's annoying. Because he only does it when I'm recording videos, ironically. But anyways, so it's like, what if you find that woman, right? And she's like a part of your roots. Like she's like, again, like I want to make sure I'm getting all the caveats. Like she's passing all the tests. There's nothing shady about her. She doesn't have a what's it called, a lock on her phone. Like she's one of these type of girls, right? And you meet her, and you guys are having a conversation, and you're talking seriously, and she's down for all your plans, and she's like, yeah, I'm really excited to be a mother. I'm really excited to be a wife. I believe that I should be supporting my man, and I want to please my man, and da 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 da, right? So it's like you find this girl. So my question is, and this is something that I've been thinking about, which is the whole reason why I had this conversation, is what would you give to her? And the whole point of what I mean by that is like she's like, okay, you know what? And she's serious about this, right? Because I get it, guys. It's like, there's a lot of women that'll say things, but their actions don't match their words. Let's pretend that she's very serious. Like she's serious. She finds meaning in supporting you and supporting the family. And so for you as a masculine man, as a man who wants to lead his family, if you believe in that, right? That my question is, what would you give her? You know what I mean? It's like, how would you set up her routine? If she's like, I want to please you, like, what are some things that I could please you? What would you tell her? And the thing about it is, it's like I have the basics, you know what I mean? I think everybody has basics. Like, oh, I want you to cook and I want you to clean and, things of that nature. But it's what if she's like, yeah, I cook and I clean. And she's like, what else? You know what I mean? Because it's like, bro, most people, they need to be stimulated in other ways because, as men, we have to continuously be chasing something or working on something. And again, that doesn't have to be anything huge. It can be just like, fixing up an old car or maybe trying to get a certification or, maybe trying to start a garden or something, guys stuff, whatever. Well, we have to have something. And it's like, what would you give to your woman who is hungry to be that supportive partner? And I think a lot of guys don't have this kind of conversation. And it's like, do you want her to read? I would want my woman to read. It's like, why wouldn't I want her to read? And so then it goes into, okay, well, what do you want her to read? Like, what materials do you want her to consume? Is she consuming cookbooks? Is she consuming books that are making her a better wife? Books that are making her a better caregiver? You know what I mean? And it's like, again, as the leader of the relationship, she's kind of looking at you to be like, okay, what can you give me? Now, again, you don't have to do these things. These types of women, they can be, what's the word I'm saying? What's the word? Self-reliant? Is that what I'm looking for? They can find things to do, but at the same time, it's like as a man, especially the man with a plan, you want her to be the best support for your plan as possible. And so she can go out and do things that are general, but it's like, what do you have specifically for her to consume that will make her a better support to you and the family that you are trying to raise, or even the business that you're trying to run? You get what I'm saying? This is what I'm saying. And I know that I've met enough guys to where if I ask the average guy, especially the average married guy, shockingly enough, it's like the average married guy or the guy in a relationship, and I ask him, like, what would you give her? Most guys don't know. And it's like, yeah, that's a huge problem because, again, the thing about leadership, and not only just leadership, but the thing about being or understanding students or followers. And again, in order to be a great leader, you have to be a great student or follower yourself. But understanding that, you realize that if you're not feeding the student or the follower, if you're not feeding them information, then they're going to seek information elsewhere. just have a natural curiosity because again, they're like, okay, how can I be the best support? And the last thing that you want to happen is she go under the leadership of someone else. Now, what I mean by that, I don't mean that, she's going to leave you or, she's going to cheat on you. I don't mean anything like that. I just mean that she's following the teachings of somebody that you don't understand their grand plan. Does that make sense? Am I kind of making sense here? It's like you don't want her to follow the plan of somebody else versus because let me just say this as an example. If I gave my girl a book, right, and it was let's just say how to be a better wife, right? I'm not just gonna go on Google and type in like, okay, what books on being a better wife. I'm gonna do like extensive research to make sure that the material in the book is exactly what she needs to be consuming to for her to be the best support for me and my and what we got going on. You get what I'm saying? That's the type of stuff that I'm talking about. And I think a lot of guys are not prepared to meet, not prepared for that woman that they are meeting. You know what I mean? So it's like a girl tells you like, oh, I cook and I clean, right? And you're like, oh, that's amazing, but does she know? Are you good? So again, right? Here's what I'm talking about. So yeah, she cooks, but right now what she cooks is like comfort food. You know what I mean? Mac and cheese. I saw this the other day. It was like she cooked mac and cheese, candied yams, if you guys know what that is, collard greens, and I think some turkey or something like that. Now, to the average person, that's like, oh my God, that's amazing. But when I look at it, just from the health knowledge that I have, all I saw was carbs and fats and sugar, and more carbs. And it's like this isn't a balanced plate. You know what I mean? There's not enough healthy carbs, there's not enough healthy protein, and there's not enough healthy fats. And that's where it's like, oh crap. So now I have a woman that cooks and cleans, but I have to teach her nutrition. You know what I mean? I have to teach her basically like health principles because let's be honest. This is where it kind of goes into is like most people are kind of expecting like a pre-made perfect wife. And it's like that's not how that goes. It's like you can find a woman right now, again, great moral character, great value system, beautiful parents, beautiful home. But again, that doesn't mean she's an expert on nutrition. That doesn't mean she's an expert on being a wife. That doesn't mean that she's, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, what if you found that woman, but she was like a blank slate? Because essentially that's what she is. She's a blank slate, and she's going to assimilate to whatever it is that you have going for her. The problem is most guys don't have things that are that she can follow. And that's where I'm trying to get you guys to recognize today, because you may find that girl, but you're going to understimulate her based off of the potential that she has. And again, you'll understand that's very dangerous because it is insinuates, it implies, you get what I'm saying? It's insinuating that you're not growing either. Because if you are growing, you would find your, because again, so it's like if I'm trying to read books on being a better leader, which a lot of guys should do, it's like, okay, well then in the same breath, you might find a book on how to be a better student or a better follower. And that's something that you can give to your girl, because again, your girl is going to be looking up to you like, oh my God, he's reading. Like, wow, what are you reading, babe? It's like, I'm trying to be like a better leader. And she's like, that's something to look up to. And so if you're like, hey, babe, I got this book and I was thinking about you. And I was like, you could read this book and it's about being a better support system and yada, yada. And she's like, oh my God, that's a great idea, right? Because again, when you're in a leadership position, people will follow you. People will mimic your actions. You'll know this if you're ever in a relationship and you have catchphrases, right? It's very easy to see in other couples, but if you have catchphrases like you have, like I know one guy, he says "ya dig" a lot. I know another person who says, what does he say? Just different slang, right? When you have somebody under you, like your wife or your kids, if you're saying this slang, eventually they're going to start saying this slang too, because one, you're the leader, and two, they look up to you. And so they start mimicking you. And so again, it's like when you have that, you're reading these books and you're like, baby, I would love for you to read this book too. She's excited about that. And it's like, do you have any type of books like that? Do you know any other like housewife creators that you look up to, as far as like, not even look up to, that you look at and you're like, wow, that's a great wife. Her philosophy is amazing. Do you have that type of person? And do you have that type of material? You know what I mean? Because again, it's like, what if you have your wife? It's like, think of your ideal wife, right? It's like, what type of foods does she make? You know what I mean? Does she bake? You get what I'm saying? And it's like, what if you had a woman that's like, I really want to be a great support to you, and I'm willing to learn whatever it is that you want me to learn. It's like you have no idea, so you can't give her a baking cookbook because you don't know any. You can't point her in the right direction. She's like, I want to wear the type of clothes that, that you look at your wife and you're like, oh my gosh, she's so beautiful, or she's so hot. And it's like, do you know what those are? You know what I mean? Do you know women's fashion enough to where you can be like, oh, like, yeah, I like my wife to wear like dresses or blouses or whatever. You know what I mean? Or does she have to go out here and figure it out by herself? This is something that, I was just kind of thinking about, because it's like, damn, like, we're so used to not getting what we asked for, what we want, just from dealing with all these delusional people, that when you fix that problem, when you have a solution to that problem and you start meeting the people that like, oh, like she wants to please me. But again, are you prepared for that? Because most guys don't know what pleases them. And so again, now she's kind of like, okay, well, I guess I'll just, I guess he likes me for the way I am, and yada yada. There's no growth there. You feel me? And so I think as a man, you have to make sure that, and again, most guys kind of take this out of proportion, where it's like, oh, I have to be like this Fortune 500 CEO type of level of productivity. But it's like, nah, man. It's like, when was the last time you sat with your girl and you guys are working on something together? It's like, again, this is like, and you learn this in personal development. The things that you go through with yourself helps you build a relationship with yourself, so you understand the type of person that you are. And so this kind of transcends that to where it's like you're just doing that with a partner. So you're like, oh, babe, we should learn this. We should learn dancing or something. Like, I was like synchronized. What, I don't know, man. It's whatever it is that you want. But that's what I'm kind of I'm leaning on. It's like, what characteristics do you look for, or do you want in the finished product that is your wife? Because again, when you're in a relationship, most people in relationships, they're not perfect people. They're just two people who are understanding that they want to grow together, and they want to make sure that they're the best version of themselves for the other person. Of course, you throw in there like for yourself, but again, it's like, bro, who doesn't want to be, look sexy for their partner, or look confident for their partner, or look manly or feminine for their partner? Don't let these people fool you into believing that, oh, everything has to be for yourself. And it's like, we already understand that, bro. And so it's like, then the next level after that is like, okay, well, what is my girl like? What is my girl like that is aligned with everything that who I am? Does that make sense? Or that I don't mind adding to the plan because it doesn't bother me at all and it makes them happy. So it's like, what is that? These are things that I think a lot of guys don't talk about, they don't think about, and it's very important, because if you're the type of guy that, if you're the type of guy that, what was I about to say? It's very important because, what was I about to say? It's very important because, yeah, I think I said it earlier. It's like, you just want to make sure that, especially if you're the leader of the relationship, you just want to make sure that you're going somewhere. You want to make sure, like in 3 to 6 months, that you guys are better and not worse, or the same. You know what I'm saying? It's like, do you want your girlfriend to be more in shape? And it's like, okay, well, have you come up with a plan for the both of you? And then like, okay, well, here's how you can assist us in this plan, and here's what I'm gonna do, and we can attack this thing together and work on it. Or, do we have like a money project that we can work on? Do we have like a relationship building course that we can take, or maybe some exercises that I found on the end? You know what I'm saying? It's like where are we leading the relationship, man? And I think a lot of people, they severely underestimate just growing with somebody who is excited to grow with you and takes pride in doing things that solidify that she is your woman. So yeah, man, I think that kind of sums up everything that I'm talking about. Yeah, if you guys like this video, like the video. If you really want me to make more content like this, just show some support so I know that you guys really like this. Um, but yeah, man, that's all I have for you guys today. If you guys have any questions or maybe anything you want to comment on, let me know down below. And yeah, let me know down in the comments when the video gets no comments. I'm like, are you guys interested in this? Are you not interested in it? I don't, you know what I'm saying? Versus, if I was talking about something negative, a lot of people comment on it. So yeah, let me know. Put a comment down. Let me know that you're here. Maybe your thoughts about it, or if you don't have any thoughts, just be like, yo, bro, I'm here. I'm listening, and I appreciate you guys. So I'll go ahead and I'll see y'all in the next one. All right, peace out.